Hello, this is Mr. Shea. Thank you for logging on to watch my video on how to write a CEL paragraph. You also have a sheet of paper which looks something like this. The CEL note taker, you should follow along as I give you this presentation. Okay, so what are our objectives today? To identify the main elements of a CEL paragraph and to write a CEL paragraph. So what does CEL stand for? C stands for claim. A claim is where you answer the question. E stands for evidence, anecdotal, statistical, testimonial. In this case, for the Crucible, you'll just be using literary evidence or just evidence from the text. And L stands for link. You explain how the evidence demonstrates the truth of your claim. You explain how the evidence demonstrates the truth of your claim. So you have C, E, L, and this is what your body paragraph should look like. Okay, a clear claim answers the question using the question. It is the topic sentence, or a claim is in the topic sentence. How does Arthur Miller portray one of the major characters in The Crucible? How does his portrayal of these characters contribute to the conflict or development in the play? Okay, I want you to take a second to read this question over again and see if you can understand what this question is asking you. Great. Now, when you write an answer to this question, you're going to need to have tag, or title, author, genre. You're going to need to include those in your topic sentence. So what's the title, author, and genre of this paragraph? Well, the title is The Crucible, play that we're reading. The author is Arthur Miller, and the genre is a play. We're reading a play. So how are you going to incorporate the tag into your topic sentence or your claim? First, I'd like for you to go to your notes here, look at the first sentence, and then label TAG, or title, author, genre, in the first sentence. Go ahead and do that now. Okay, now that you have highlighted your tag in the first sentence, it should look like this. In the play, The Crucible, Arthur Miller portrays da 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 da. You should also always start your first sentence with the tag. So what does mine look like? Let's see. How does Arthur Miller, in the play, The Crucible, Arthur Miller portrays, or using another verb such as describes, or depicts, or illustrates, and you'll want to put someone's name here. Tituba, Reverend Hale, Abigail Williams, as whatever. You want to use an adjective here, which contributes to the development of the play. Let me show you what I have in my next part. Okay, so now this is my topic sentence. Notice how it's about 2 sentences long. Yours can be 1 or 2 sentences. Just make sure that it answers the question. So here's my sentence. In the play, The Crucible, Arthur Miller portrays Tituba as an honest and loving servant who is forced to lie under pressure of the forceful authorities. Tituba's reluctant dishonesty ultimately encourages others to practice deceit. It demonstrates how society's paranoia can turn once honest people into liars. Does it answer the question? How does Arthur Miller portray one of the characters? Well, I chose Tituba, and I said that she's honest and she's loving, but later on, she becomes a liar, right? And how does her lying ways or her character contribute to the conflict in the play or the development of the play? Well, her dishonesty ultimately lets others practice deceit. And it demonstrates how a society's paranoia can turn once honest people into liars, meaning that everyone else is now turning once honest people into bad people. Does it answer the question? Does it take a position? Well, I think it does, and so should yours. Let's move on to our evidence. Okay, let's move on to evidence. After you make your claim, you need to have evidence to back it up. So When you introduce evidence, you should follow the TIPC formula, which is a really simple way for you to introduce evidence without being too chunky or too abrupt. So T stands for transition. The sentence should start with a transition. I stands for introduce, or introduce the speaker or context of the quote. P stands for purpose. The speaker of the quote needs to have a purpose, not just says. And C stands for cite. At the end of the evidence, put the author's name and page number in parentheses, followed by a period. Go ahead and look in your notes and highlight or mark all the elements, TIPC, in the part that I've highlighted here, from for example to 1260. Go ahead and do that now. All right. Well, hopefully yours should look something like this. For example, when Reverend Paris threatens to hang Tituba if she does not confess to witchcraft, Tituba fearfully admits that she does not desire to work for him, an implicit confession of working for the devil. Under further questioning, Tituba is forced to lie again, give up two innocent people's names. For example, is the transition, and when I have when Reverend Paris threatens to hang Tituba if she does not confess to witchcraft, this is the context of the quote I'm about to cite here. So this is my quote, but then I give you context or a little background information on this quote. Finally, admits is my purpose verb. Who's doing this? Tituba is admitting that she does not desire to work for him. Okay? This other yellow part under further questioning is also introducing another part of the situation or the context. So you can know that you don't have to follow this exactly. If you want to add some more, just make sure that you give some context for your quote. So what do I do after the evidence? Anytime you use evidence, you need to explain what it means in your own words. You can either paraphrase it word for word or take the main idea and just explain it. Begin with the transition, then explain the quote. Let's see what I wrote. Essentially, Tituba confesses to witchcraft and accuses others of witchcraft because she is afraid to lose her life. Basically, everything that I wrote here, I sort of rewrote or resummarized or just wrote in my own words what it meant, what's happening. She's confessing to witchcraft because others, and accuses others of witchcraft because she is afraid to lose her life. Her life is threatened. Now that I've provided evidence for who Tituba is, for what she's doing, basically lying about witchcraft, now I need to link this evidence back to the claim. Okay, now that I have reworded the evidence in my own words, I've kind of essentially talked about what the evidence is about, we'll move on to my link. Once you explain what the evidence means to you, explain how it proves or supports your claim. Begin with a transition that goes with your idea or the question. Linking the paragraph to your other ideas shows you can make connections to previous learning. This makes you look intelligent and improves your writing very, very much. Let me show you my example. Let's start from essentially and read down to salient. Essentially, Tituba confesses to witchcraft and accuses others of witchcraft because she is afraid to lose her life. This is significant because Tituba's dishonesty encourages others to lie about witchcraft, which further contributes to the mass hysteria already present in Salem. Now, does this sentence here connect back with the claim? Let's see. My claim is, in the play The Crucible, Arthur Miller portrays Tituba as an honest and loving servant who is forced to lie under pressure of the forceful authorities. Tituba's reluctant dishonesty ultimately encourages others to practice deceit and demonstrates how society's paranoia can turn once honest people into liars.